Hi, it's Kat Kalashian from Live and Invest Overseas, and today I would like to reveal 6 countries where you can get residency just by investing in local real estate. So, if you're thinking of moving or retiring to another country, you may also be considering buying a home there. It could be for personal use, your actual primary residence. It could just be as a pure investment, a rental property that you're renting out to other vacationers, or as a second vacation home for yourself to spend time in for just a few months, a few weeks, a year. And wouldn't it be nice if just the fact of owning that property allowed you free and clear access to the country in which it's located? That the investment would allow you to live legally in that country for as long as you liked, giving you free access to come and go as you please without worrying about visas or overstaying any kind of jurisdiction rules. Well, in these 6 countries, you can do just that. By buying a home, you are automatically eligible for applying for residency. So first, let's look at why you would want residency in another country. A second residency opens you up to more of the world's possibilities and enhances your personal freedom. In times of crisis at home, for example, whether social unrest or another pandemic, knock wood, it provides a legitimate fallback location. On a practical level, it allows you to stay in the country that you enjoy for as long as you wish without the constraints of a tourist status. A second residency can also unlock strategic advantages like preferential tax treatment, access to affordable health care in the local country, perhaps even free health care in the local country, local discounts that are available perhaps to seniors or just to residents, and lower cost education. Some programs that offer residency for real estate require you to spend a minimum amount of time in the country each year to keep that status active. That can reduce the appeal of these offers if you're looking purely for an investment without actually spending time there yourself. But if you are looking to spend time there, these are some really fantastic options. And as a little piece of bonus advice before we get into this, residency rules do change very quickly, often without notice. And so if you intend to pursue one of these paths, I recommend applying for residency as soon as possible after making your purchase. The sooner you get that application in, if rules change, you're already grandfathered in. You can say, look, my lawyer already submitted my documents. In most cases, that's enough to keep you on the register under whatever rules were active when you applied. So let's dive in. Number 1 is Belize. Belize offers a path to temporary residency through real estate investment of 500,000 Belizean dollars, which is the Belizean dollar is tied 2 to 1 to the US dollar. So that's 250,000 US dollars. For the required documents, you'll need to show the title of real estate ownership, the proof of residence in Belize. This could be a lease agreement, a utility bill, property title, tax assessment, etc. You'll need a police record from your last country of residence. You'll need a letter to the Director of Nationality and Passports Department explaining your reasons for requesting this residency. And after a year, you can apply for permanent residence. So what you would have had initially is temporary. And then after you've been there 1 year, you can make a move to change it to permanent, provided that you haven't been out of the country for more than 14 days total in that last year. So things do get a little hairy. This is why we always recommend that if you do pursue any of these things, it's always wise to talk and work with a lawyer. You'll also need to prove financial stability to the immigration office. And there you have it, you're a resident in Belize. All right, number 2 is Colombia, which offers several visa categories, including the migrant, which is the type M visa for investors. This is valid for 3 years and it's renewable. And all it requires is a real estate investment of 350 times the monthly minimum wage. So I'm not going to even say the number in Colombian pesos because it's many, many millions, but it works out to about $123,670 in 2025. And of course, the minimum wage does change annually, so this will change year by year, but essentially it's a very affordable amount of money to spend on you could get a city penthouse, a beachfront property on the Caribbean coast for that kind of budget. So the requirements will include title to the property in your name and to maintain for the visa's duration. So you have to commit to the property. You can't just buy it and let it sit and rot. You'll have to show financial solvency. Bank statements for the last 3 months will suffice. You'll need to have Colombian health coverage or a policy that covers you in Colombia. So that could be travel insurance, which is actually quite affordable. Colombian insurance would also be extremely, extremely affordable. Colombia really stands out for its clear and straightforward application process and for not requiring a criminal background background check. This is a unique thing for Colombia. Most other countries in the world all require it. After you've been on this M visa for 5 years, you can apply for a resident type R visa. And to maintain your migrant visa, you must spend at least 180 days per year in Colombia. So you don't have to spend the entire year there. Like in Belize, they wanted you there for pretty much the whole year. Number 3 is the Dominican Republic. So moving a little bit north in the Caribbean there, the Dominican Republic's investor visa is unique in granting immediate permanent residency upon arrival. This is absolutely unique in the world. It's also one of the fastest paths to citizenship in the world, although the DR passport isn't necessarily one of the most valuable in the world. Neither here nor there. The investment is $200,000 US, and that has to be registered with the Export and Investment Center of the Dominican Republic. So a little bit of a higher threshold here. We're moving up from Belize and Colombia. The requirements here are a clean criminal record, health certificate, letter signed before a notary or a Dominican resident guaranteeing that you won't become a burden to the state, certificate of investor issued by the Export and Investment Center, and a bank letter confirming that you have a local bank account in the country. The first resident permit is valid for 1 year. Subsequent renewals last 4 years. There is no required minimum stay, though spending time in country is recommended if you do it to intend to apply for citizenship later. They're going to want to see that you spent significant time there. After just 6 months of legal residency, you can apply for citizenship, which again is unique in the world, provided that you can conduct the immigrant interview in Spanish. So a little bit of a caveat there. You'll need to be fluent. Before I move on to the final 3, I want to just share with you our new book, hot off the presses, The Beginner's Guide to Buying Real Estate Abroad. In it, our in-house expert and veteran international investor, Leif Simon, the co-founder of Live and Invest Overseas, shows how you can build a steady passive income stream by owning properties abroad. It's a complete guide. It'll walk you through exactly where and how to invest, show you the most lucrative markets, how to calculate real cash flow, financing options, how to partner with trusted local managers, and you'll benefit quite a bit from Leif's own personal experience. He's bought 64 properties in 23 countries. Needless to say, he'll have plenty of anecdotes and pitfalls to warn you about. So if you're interested in trying to snag a free copy of that book, click on the link on the screen. While supplies last, you may be able to get one sent for free. All right, moving on to the final 3. Number 4 is Greece, which remains one of Europe's few real estate-based golden visas. They've all been culled in the past few years, and it's very popular both for the attractive properties and for the competitive prices. Who doesn't want a beautiful whitewashed, blue-roofed Greek home on an island? So the investment here is in thresholds depending on different parameters. So you might be required to invest either 250,000 euros for properties converted from commercial to residential use or restored historic or cultural properties. That will bump up to 400,000 euros if it's a property of at least 120 square meters outside of prime regions. And I'm about to list those prime regions. The final threshold is 800,000 euros. These are for properties of at least 120 square meters in the prime regions of Attica, Thessaloniki, Mykonos, Santorini, or on islands with over 3,100 residents. So it's a little bit more complicated there, but you can see that you have some options. And of course, the thresholds are going up quite a bit here. Don't forget that these numbers are in euros, not in dollars. So you will have to do a little bit of an exchange rate conversion there and see if the budget still works for you. So the requirements here are that you cannot already be an EU citizen. This is a program that is tailored for people that are coming from outside of the EU. You must also have a clean criminal record and be of good character. You must have medical insurance. And restrictions include a ban on short-term rentals for investment properties. So this is a place that you would have to use yourself. And prohibitions on using converted commercial property as company headquarters. The Golden Visa grants a renewable 5-year residence permit with dependents. So that can be your spouse, children up to the age of 21, and even your parents included. There is no minimum stay required to maintain the status, so you can make your investment and sit on it for as long as you'd like, and don't even necessarily need to visit it. Citizenship is possible after 7 years, but you must have spent about 183 days per year in Greece, and you need to be able to prove that. So if citizenship is ever one of your goals, you need to make sure that you know that from the very beginning so that your lawyer can make sure that you have been processed in all the correct ways to prove that you've been there for the required time. Number 5 is Montenegro, which stands out for offering residence by investment with no minimum investment threshold. So for the ultimate budget property, look to Montenegro. Buying anything here qualifies you for residency. There is no minimum threshold. There is no budget figure. So the requirements otherwise are medical insurance, accommodation, proof of means with bank statements, clean criminal record, both from your home country and Montenegro, in case you've ever been to Montenegro in the past and gotten into some trouble. Residency is granted for 1 year and it is renewable, but your status will lapse if you're out of the country for more than 6 months. Permanent residency is possible to apply for after 5 years. Number 6, and our final country on this list, as always, Panama. It shows up on all these lists because it's pretty much one of the most beneficial places to do any kind of living or investing overseas. So from tax to residency policies, Panama is among the world's most investor-friendly nations, period, offering many visa options. So for one, the Friendly Nations visa, it requires an investment of $200,000 US, personally or via a Panamanian company or private foundation where you are the founder and beneficiary. You will also be required to show your criminal background check, certified in a Panamanian consulate, a local health certificate, and financing via Panamanian bank. The Friendly Nations visa is available to citizens of the US and Canada and many other partner countries, and it grants provisional residency for 2 years, after which you can apply for permanent residency. You can also take another route. The Qualified Investor Visa in Panama requires an investment of $300,000, and you will also need to show a bank certificate showing source of funds from outside of Panama, a criminal record, and proof of Panamanian address. This path is a direct path to permanent residency, so there's no hopping over that temporary period. It doesn't require you to be in Panama to start the process, so you can start this from back home, and approval is fast-tracked. You must visit the country once every 2 years to maintain your status, so this is a very, very friendly path if investment is the goal and instead of personal use. There you have it, 6 countries where you can buy real estate and then just move in whenever you'd like to, with some considerations and asterisks put onto some of those requirements. But if this is of interest to you, I highly recommend giving our new book a quick peek. Click on that link to see if this book might be of interest to you. You may be eligible for a free copy if you click on it now. The Beginner's Guide to Buying Real Estate Abroad is going to answer all of these questions and put some of the best markets, including markets where residency could be an additional benefit, right out and lay you a nice path to follow if that is part of your goals. For more like this from Live and Invest Overseas every week, be sure to like and subscribe. Happy trails.